Before he ever stepped on a stage as Michael Jackson, nobody believed Jaafar Jackson could carry the biggest legacy in pop music. Not the skeptics, not the casting directors, not even his own family. Then one live moment changed everything. To understand why one song could carry so much weight, you have to understand what led to it. This wasn't a random performance. It was the culmination of a 2-year casting search that searched the entire world for the one person who could bring Michael Jackson back to life. Hundreds auditioned. Stars were considered. And in the end, the person chosen wasn't a Hollywood discovery at all. He was family. Jaafar Jackson, Michael's nephew, 28 years old, and handed the most impossible job in entertainment, playing the most iconic entertainer of all time, the man whose name he carries, whose legacy he grew up inside. And here's what made it so heavy. This wasn't just a role. It was a responsibility. The Jackson family was watching. The world was watching. And somewhere in the back of Jaafar's mind, the question nobody wanted to say out loud: can he actually do this? What happened next is where the story turns. Jaafar didn't just learn the songs. He studied them. The way Michael breathed, the way he held a microphone, the way he moved his wrist just before the first note. Every costume, every signature move, every small detail of Michael's stage presence became something Jaafar practiced obsessively.
Yeah, I have to say, those were the good old days. I love those songs. Those were magic moments with all my brothers, including Jermaine. But, those were good songs. I like those songs a lot, but especially I like the new songs.
But there was an irony underneath all of it. For years, record labels had actually rejected Jaafar for one reason. He sounded too much like his uncle.
Within my whole family, we all have a very similar tone when we speak and when we sing.
Right.
So you can tell each other apart once you really hear it.
Oh.
Like my voice that cost him a music career is the same quality that made him perfect for the biopic. The transformation took 22 days of rehearsal, 30 distinct looks, and a voice that had to step inside one of the most recognizable sounds in music history without becoming a copy.
And really rehearsed every day and making sure that I believed what I was seeing in the mirror. And that took a couple years, I would say, until I fully believed I was ready.
I just kept saying the kind of story we break down every week. The untold weight behind Hollywood's most iconic families. If it's moving you, hit subscribe so you never miss the next chapter. And then came the moment nobody was ready for. The stage lights hit. The first notes of Billie Jean filled the room. And for a few seconds, the crowd wasn't watching a nephew honoring his uncle. They were watching Michael. This is where the moment stopped being a performance and became something else. Catherine Jackson, Michael's mother, Jaafar's grandmother, watched from the audience. And the people closest to the family described the same thing happening in that room. Faces turning, hands reaching for mouths, eyes that recognized a ghost they'd spent years missing. Felt it too. Clips of the performance spread across social media within hours. People weren't just talking about Michael Jackson anymore. They were talking about the boy, the nephew, carrying his legacy, one note at a time. For Jaafar, it was the moment everything clicked. Not because he had sounded like Michael, but because he had made people feel Michael again. When audiences heard Jaafar Jackson sing Billie Jean, they assumed they were hearing Michael Jackson's original recording. But here's the truth. Jaafar sang live on set for every performance. He told the Today Show, "When I was doing all the performances, I was actually singing out live in the microphone on top of Michael's track. So it's a blend of my vocal and Michael's."
Singing Michael's songs? Were you getting a little of Michael or both, or how does it work?
It was fun because when I was doing all the performances, I was actually singing out live in the microphone on top of Michael's track. So it's a blend of my vocal and Michael's.
Music supervisor John Warhurst confirmed, physically, his voice is very similar to Michael's. But similarity wasn't enough. Jaafar had to train for years to master his uncle's voice.
Point where we realized he needed to be in a class.
And so he went to the acting class, and I think it was Graham's idea to put him just around a bunch of peers who are honing in on their acting.
Jaafar's natural voice sits lower than Michael's. He had to learn to speak in a higher register. Music supervisor John Warhurst explained that the key was getting Jaafar to speak in a place where his voice was similar to Michael's. The production team helped him find the right pitch and tone. It wasn't about imitating Michael. It was about finding the natural similarity in his own voice.
Get any more cute. I'm gonna look him straight in the eye. Tell him to his face. Off stage, but I found a personality that's all these ideas in my head just constantly flowing. Gotta get them out. I'm like a stage addict. I really am. Like when there are off days and there is no show, I'm up at night dancing just to sing.
In the studio scenes, there's no Michael track to lean on. Warhurst said, "We discussed a lot whether Jaafar and Juliano could go to a studio and record these songs, and the answer was yes. The a cappella moments, where Michael is recording Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, or I Want You Back, that's all Jaafar. No blend, no backup, just his voice. And audiences couldn't tell the difference."
I'm feeling you, you're feeling me too. I went out of my way. And you said nothing on the first day.
When audiences heard Jaafar Jackson sing Billie Jean, they assumed it was Michael Jackson's original recording. The truth is much more complex. Music supervisor John Warhurst described the process as creating a live musical where the actor performs the pieces themselves. When you use recordings, one of the first things you need is what I call the visual canvas, Warhurst explained. You can't put an incredibly powerful voice on a face that doesn't look like it's projecting that kind of power. The Billie Jean performance was the most demanding scene of the entire film. Jaafar Jackson told The Tonight Show that the Motown 25 recreation was the most challenging because it had to be frame by frame exact. Unlike other scenes that allowed some creative freedom, Billie Jean could not afford mistakes. The production team studied the original footage frame by frame, analyzing every pause and gesture. And Jaafar had just 20 days to prove he could pull it off.
The toughest because there's so much in that performance. It's such a certain stylized little nuances that you may not know until you really break down every frame for frame. So that was the most difficult to learn, honestly.
The Billie Jean performance required a level of precision that other scenes didn't. The production team studied the original footage frame by frame, analyzing every move and gesture. The Motown 25 performance had to be recreated exactly as Michael had performed it. Jaafar told The Tonight Show, "Other performances have some freedom, but Billie Jean cannot make mistakes." The scene became the most demanding of the entire production. The Billie Jean performance that nobody expected became the scene that defined his performance. If you like stories like this, drop a comment below and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.